It's Sunday night, and you know what that means. Another piping hot, fresh, never frozen episode of Slashily Ever Podcast, Slashily Ever After Podcast, starring me, hosting by me. Let's start over. Slashily Ever After Podcast. I'm RunningMan. This is Giza Britanniza.
Hi.
And we are here to talk about more movies. How are you feeling?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
Solid?
Could use some more caffeine.
You said pretty good and not fine, which in Brittany talk means she feels great.
Yeah.
So we're back. This is the Fallout episode. We obviously talked last week about Sinners, which was our favorite movie ever. The Ugly Stepsister, which was an S tier
Our second
film.
favorite movie ever.
Yeah, pretty much, at least of this year. I don't know.
For
For
this
me,
year, yeah.
it's going to be a debate for me.
Woman in the
I
Yard.
can't decide
and
between
Ugly
that and Woman in
Stepsister.
the Yard for my
Yeah.
second favorite. They were both so different. And that's, I
Yeah.
guess, what makes it hard for me is that, like, if I want some ooey gooey body horror, obviously Ugly Stepsister is the king. But if I want to watch something that's like an emotional journey and like really suspenseful and really like tugs at the heartstrings, then Woman in the Yard was
Then
so
Sinners
good.
is
And then
actually the movie you
Sinners
wanna
is the
watch.
only movie I want to watch for the rest of my. I guess I'll just watch it on repeat. And
We'll just keep it on forever.
We'll start a new podcast called the Sinners Ever After Podcast, and we'll just talk about that movie every week. Like, how did you like your viewings this week?
Yeah.
So I do
Anything
genuinely
new?
think I wouldn't get tired of it, but I digress. We're not going to stay on that topic too long because we got some movies to talk about that obviously everything's going to pale in comparison, but some of them were actually pretty good. So we're excited to talk about it. The first one, though, not pretty good.
Not
So let's get right into it with Shiver Me Timbers.
Shiver Me Timbers. Is this like the third or fourth Popeye movie now?
I think it's the third one that's come out. We've only watched two, though, right? We watched,
Okay, so there's another one.
Yeah, there's one we
that,
haven't seen yet.
And it's like $14. I don't want to watch it.
We got to see
for
it, though.
streaming.
We got to see it.
Yeah, so this one's Shiver Me Timbers, an hour and 13 minutes. Felt infinitely longer, though.
Yeah.
So original release was February 28th, 2025 at a film festival. One film festival. Romford Horror Film Festival. And then it was released to streaming April 1st, $5.99 on Prime. It has a very long synopsis, by the way. In northern
Red flag.
Red flag. In Northern California during the summer of 1986, Olive Oil, along with her cinema-obsessed friends and brother Castor, his name's Castor, like castor oil, olive oil and castor oil.
I didn't even notice.
I didn't either.
man.
They embark on a once-in-a-lifetime camping trip to witness the dazzling meteor shower accompanying the arrival of Halley's Comet. But what starts as a series... Oh, my God. So sorry.
You're killing it. Keep it up.
What starts as a serene evening of stargazing quickly turns into a harrowing nightmare when a meteor from the comet transforms Popeye into a terrifying and unstoppable killing machine.
Yeah. So I'm well known as a jank horror fan. I love corny horror. I love cheesy horror. I loved the first Popeye film.
Popeye the Slayer Man,
Slayer Man was
slapped.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. We didn't really dig Steamboat Willie as much, but still, this movie, Steamboat Willie is like Sinners compared to this film in terms of like quality jumps. Like Shiver Me Timbers, it was just bad. And I'm sorry to say it because I wanted to love it. I was excited about it. The acting was bad. The jokes were it was very toilet humor, which
No, lots of potty humor.
I like a little toilet humor here and there, and it can be funny.
That's
but
like
it's
all
kind
they
of
had.
all they had, yeah. And then it was like over the top violence, which I'm always about. Like that was probably the only thing I really liked about it. Is the kills were pretty good. It's pretty over the top.
So cheesy.
But it was just, it's just a
like
hard.
he's smoking out of like a bone.
Yeah.
I can't tell what it is. I'm pretty sure it was like the humerus maybe. It doesn't look like a femur.
No, it's just
Either
bad.
way, it's
bad.
so bad.
It's just not really.
I mean, the tagline is "I am what I am," and that's all I am.
Well, that could have been fun if the movie around it was good, but it's not good. It's just bad. Sorry. And if you worked on the movie and you're watching, sorry, it was bad.
Yeah.
They
very
tried really
bad.
hard to. There was like some weird over reliance on trying to like pay homage to Evil Dead at some point, and it just didn't land. It was near the end of the film.
Chainsaws are for kids.
Yeah, it just,
No, they're not.
Yeah, it just felt like they didn't really know what they were doing with it, and I give it 0 out of 5 stars. Like it's not even really worth a cringe watch. And again, we'll talk about another movie that we didn't like, but that I think was somehow still better than this one. And at least like with the other one, at least it seemed like they knew what they were trying to do, and they just didn't really nail it. This one, I don't think they knew what they were trying to do, other than like ride the Popeye license. What do they call it? The public domain. They were riding the public domain. you know, oh, we'll do a Popeye movie, and it flops.
I keep having flashbacks to like the acting. It was so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was like adults that were like elementary school children in their first play.
Yeah,
it was so bad.
And again, with the other one we talk about, it was kind of, I think that was intended, and this one I think it was just what they had. I think it was the best they had. 0 out of 10. Don't watch it. Don't waste your time. It sucks. Moving on. 825 Forest Road.
Shudder original. From the director of Hell House LLC. Hell House is a great series.
You know, I didn't know that it was from the director of Hell House LLC, but now that we know, that makes sense.
Yeah, you can see it, right?
So give us the synopsis.
An hour 41 minutes came out on straight to Shudder April 4th, 2025. After a family tragedy, Chuck Wilson hopes to start a new life in Ashland Falls with his wife Maria and little sister Elizabeth. But he quickly discovers that the town has a dark history of being haunted by a ghostly woman who drives residents to suicide.
So this one slapped. It's actually really good. It was better than I expected. It was kind of so Shudder Original is usually a green flag. They tend to do pretty good. And again, Ugly Stepsister was a Shudder film, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I don't
it's
think
not a Shudder original.
It's not a Shudder original, but
film.
like I think Shudder helped produce it.
So they got
it's in the beginning of it.
Which green flag. You see Shudder. Typically it's going to be pretty decent. And this one it was a fun watch. I wasn't expecting much, and it kind of exceeded my expectations. Very scary.
Yeah.
Very scary movie, which you don't see many movies that are genuinely scary these days. But definitely felt like Hell House. Definitely felt a little like paranormal experience or paranormal activity. Yeah.
There was a scene in there that reminded me a lot of the Strangers. So I feel like this isn't a spoiler. This movie, The Stranger's has been out for like 15 years, where the stranger is in the background, but there's no sound cue. There's no character interaction. Like everybody discovers the stranger in the background at a different time. And there was a scene in this movie where something's happening in the background, but you think like, that's not what I just saw. And then it happens again. You're like, oh my God, that is what's happening.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I wondered when you saw it versus like when I saw it. Like, did you see it first? Did I see it first?
Knows,
like,
right?
and I love that in movies.
Yep.
It doesn't happen very often, but I loved that.
Yeah, subtlety is really fun. And so again, with this one, if you have a Shudder account, which you should have a Shudder account, it's like the best value in horror. Make this one a priority. See it.
Yeah.
It's very, very good. It's not gonna blow your mind. There's nothing like world changing about it, but it's just a really solid film. This is a great
it's kind of like a mystery. So they're trying to solve the mystery of what's happening in this home. There's a lot of like research, and they go to the library.
We love the library in this house, so W library.
So it's a cute movie. There's also some drama that happens in it as well, like within the family.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to say too much.
Yeah, we don't. That's the problem is that we could
though.
talk more about it, but then that would be kind of spoiled because there were some things about it that I felt were pretty unique. The way that the town reacts to the situation that's happening was unique to me. I was like, oh, this is like something I haven't seen done in this, because it's definitely like again, paranormal activity, like a haunted housey, like that's sort of the vibe. And it definitely, it's neat. I want to join a gardening club now. Thanks to this movie, because I didn't know that that's what they fucked with in gardening clubs,
right?
The stuff that they were talking about. So yeah, go see the movie. Put the movie on. Yeah. Watch it. It's worth your Shudder subscription alone. So W movie, see it. It's fun. All right, wrapping it up. Rolling into Rumplestiltskin. All right, go ahead.
Oh my gosh! So Rumplestiltskin, an hour and 27 minutes. First film festival it was in was March 8th, UK Glasgow Film Festival, and it came out to streaming April 8th, $4.99 on Prime. Tagline, remember the name, ... Okay, once upon a time, a miller attempted to marry his daughter off to the king by promising she could spin straw into gold. With the help of a demonic imp, she completes the task, but the king becomes greedy and wants more. So she promises the imp her firstborn in return for yet more favors. But when it comes time to honor her bargain, dark forces merge when the imp makes a deal with the devil. There's a lot in there, but Rumpelstiltskin is also a classic fairy tale, and you already know all this stuff anyways going into the story.
Yeah, you know the foundation if you've heard the tale of Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah. This movie is definitely pretty budget horror, but it was so good.
Yeah, like how so it's one of those things where like we sometimes I feel like here on the podcast we're a little critical of the acting and the performances in these low budget movies. It's like, what do you expect? Why did this one have like incredible personal acting? Like the actors were incredible.
So they all had accents. So again, it could just be that we couldn't get past the accents and to see bad acting, but everybody was good.
It was great.
It was so funny without being like a cheesy horror comedy.
It didn't force it.
No,
and it wasn't. It didn't need toilet humor.
It was
there
like
was a little
conversational
toilet
humor, like the way that like a dad picks on his son kind of humor. Like it was so funny.
Yeah, super funny, super engaging. The acting was incredible. Like which I did not expect. The opening scene was like, oh, this is gonna be a tough watch, and then like, no, it was a great watch. It was a would rewatch kind of movie. It was very, very good. Again, they used the foundation of Rumpelstiltskin, and they kind of pay homage in a good way. Yeah, just a fantastic movie. I loved it.
Yeah,
I didn't just like it, I loved it.
Very pleasantly surprised with this one. It was so fun. Again, like I have a harder time with horror comedy. Like Doug loves horror comedy, but I always feel like when movies are like trying to do horror comedy, it ends up being either bad humor or bad horror. And this was neither. It was good humor and good horror.
Yeah.
Like such a fun movie.
You said $4.99 on Prime, worth every penny.
Yeah.
Worth every penny. I'd pay to see it again if I wanted to watch it again, although there's just too many movies out to rewatch too much stuff. But yeah, especially, and again, I've talked about before, my favorite creature features, dark fantasy, and old timey. And this one is.
This is your first two.
This is a creature feature,
fantasy,
and it's old, and it's dark fantasy. And then Rumpelstiltskin as the main antagonist nailed it. He just nailed it. He was a perfect Rumpelstiltskin, perfect. The vibe of like, a little trickster, a little like likes the what's the word, where you. Well, the Gollum in Lord of the Rings, he does like he asks you a question. It's like there's a word for it.
Riddle?
A riddle, yeah. He does riddles. His riddles were W, and like it was just really fun. And yeah, everybody nailed their roles, and yeah, I highly recommend it.
Looking this up, there's so many. I guess Rumpelstiltskin is not one of the like is always like been public domain. I guess because it's so old. There's so many Rumpelstiltskin movies. When I was looking it up, it took me a while to. I say a while relative for internet. It took me like 15 seconds instead of 3 seconds to find this movie.
Yeah,
because there's just so many. Which is really cool.
We should watch the rest. And we could rank the Rumpelstiltskin movies. This one,
that'd be so fun.
That would be really fun. But this one they nailed it.
Yeah, so good.
This is my Rumpelstiltskin movie. Like this is the one.
Yeah.
So we'll see if any of the other ones hold a candle, but I doubt it because again, the individual performances were so good. The comedy was great. The antagonist was great. He kind of gave me like Leprechaun vibes.
Yeah.
And it was a great movie. Go watch it.
Very fun.
Watch it. W.
Yeah. Don't watch this one though.
No, please don't.
Desert Fiends. We're just going right into it. Desert Fiends. Its rating is 18+. So I don't know if that tells you anything. An hour and 46 minutes. I felt every
second.
Hour and 46 minutes.
Every second of it.
Its original premiere was December 13th, 2024 in Las Vegas, and it was never seen again.
Yeah.
Until it was released April 8th, 2025, $5.99 on Prime. The synopsis, apparently the tagline is Sun, Sand, and Psychos. So the synopsis follows 6 friends who break down in the middle of nowhere on the way to a concert and encounter with the Desert Fiends, a deranged family that lives in the desert, killing anyone they come across. This movie started so strong.
Yeah, it definitely had like the Django guy, the director.
Oh, Quentin Tarantino.
It had like a Tarantino style.
It had Tarantino.
Open.
Yeah, like the insane amount of like in Tarantino movies, like someone gets shot and instead of just being shot, they like explode with like blood.
Yeah. Well, and then I meant more like the dialogue, like the back and forth.
Oh.
It was like a Tarantino open with like.
Yeah, it was the conversation.
They're introducing these characters in a way that they're like very talkative, and it's a back and forth, and it kind of started strong, so I thought it was going to be great.
It started so strong.
And then it wasn't great. So we talk about toilet humor being like a crutch. This one, like that's all they had was toilet humor.
They had all they had was penis humor.
Yeah, just dicks. Just dicks for days.
You can kind of see it on the it's funny, they actually like cut a lot of it out. So the I guess for the film, the Fiends are all body parts. So the guy on the left is balls, his testicles. The guy in the middle, I believe, is supposed to be a vagina. I can't tell from here.
I think it's so, yeah.
Yeah. And then the guy on the right, his nose is a penis. and
Yeah.
it's the desert fiend.
There was also a butthole mouth.
There was a butthole mouth
on the poster. And it was just, they knew what they were doing. And when I talk about the bad acting was definitely by design. Like they wanted to make like a corny, and there's a lot of like self-awareness where like, they're like, it's a festival and there's like 9 people. Like they really did, but none of that stuff was on accident. It was like, it's almost like a satire. And they just kind of overdid it. And really just, it didn't land. Tom Arnold is in it, and he had like a major role
somehow.
in the movie. There's another guy that's like really famous that was in it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can pull it up.
There was a bunch of like decently famous
There were
people.
so many people in this movie.
Yeah,
So
they introduced like 100 characters.
that like have like legitimate lines and stuff. Like not like what is wrong with us in thinking of words? Like who are the people that are just hanging out in the background?
Extras.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Not extras. Everybody had like a legitimate like storyline, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
they
good
just kept
God.
introducing characters, and I didn't care about any of them. And it wasn't funny. My Letterboxd reviews should tell you everything you need to know about how I received the film. The least funny guy you know at work is gonna love this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a comedy for people
I don't know who
aren't funny.
Thinking of.
So yeah, give me a second.
There's a guy.
Eric Roberts, Bai Ling is famous.
There's a guy
Tom
from
Arnold.
The Dark Knight in it as well. One of the
Yeah.
mobsters is in it, and I was
I think that's Eric Davis. That's who I was thinking of. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to go through the cast.
that's Abigail Breslin's brother.
Yeah,
In it, like people that have reasonable fame.
Yeah.
In Hollywood are in this movie.
Yeah,
And, like,
I hated this.
Spencer
film.
Breslin.
I hated this film. I did.
my God.
Couldn't wait for it to be over. I would never rewatch. I would recommend everybody avoid. And again, it sucks because like this is kind of coded for my, like I would love a movie like this that pulled it off, like the over the top cheesy, over the top silly, the satire, poking fun at itself. It did all that stuff and it didn't do any of it good. So I couldn't recommend it less.
So gross. There's so much potty humor. It's all penis humor.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, dicks aren't a red flag. I mean, there was some dicks.
There was a lot in the Ugly Stepsister.
Ugly Stepsister, yeah, there was dicks in that movie, and that was one of the best movies of the year. But this one, I mean, don't waste the dicks on a bad movie. You know, put them in a good movie.
We don't get them very often.
We don't get them enough. Yeah, we could use more dicks, but just do it in a better way. Again, I would liken their usage of dicks in this film to the usage of dicks in Steamboat Willie. It's like you just did it to
just to keep
just to make it
not
edgy.
fun anymore
Yeah,
at that
it's
point.
Not fun. So this movie sucks. Don't watch it. Next scene. All right, wrapping up this week's films though. Another banger, Shadow of God.
Yeah, another. It doesn't say Shudder original, but it's on Shudder.
It is a Shudder.
Okay.
It's a Shudder film.
So it's rated TVMA, and it's an hour and 27 minutes. It actually was released on March 26th in the Philippines exclusively.
Really?
By the way. Yeah.
When did I guess that?
According to IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows how? I don't know. I don't know how much of IMDb you can edit, but that's what it says on IMDb. But it came to Shudder on April 11th. So when performing an unauthorized exorcism on his father, an elite exorcist suspects the entity he's doing battle with might be a holy being, perhaps even God.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of spoil it in the film, in the synopsis. But this was, and we love, again, one of our favorite subgenres is religious horror. Mm-hmm. And this one was truly original and unique.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything quite like it. The individual performances were great. The story was great.
Doug was rooting for the guy the whole time.
Yeah,
from the very beginning, he was like, I love him.
Yeah, on the opening scene, I was like, I love this exorcist. I want him to win no matter what. He rules. And he just maintained that energy the whole time. It was, again, when this one wrapped up, I immediately reached out to a friend of mine who really likes religious horror. And I was like, you got to see this one as soon as you can. Like, it's great. I loved it.
I love religious horror. I love exorcist movies.
Yeah.
Without giving too much away, because we do need to talk a little bit more about it. It starts off as like an exorcism movie he's doing an exorcism, and then like after he's done, he's like given the church like the details, like it's done. But one of the priests with me died, and they're like, that's like the 7th one today.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
It was a very see, again, it's like usually when you use like a trope when they go through a genre movie, like it's not unique. This was very unique. Like it definitely did not feel like any other exorcism movie I've seen. And then they nailed pretty much everything. Like the exorcism scenes were great. The character development was great. They got you almost immediately invested in this guy and his pseudo love interest from his childhood. And like, there's like a lot of cult tie-ins to like a religious cult from the early stages up into like maybe, and it's like it kind of has you guessing like, was the religious cult right or were they wrong? Like what is happening here? And so it felt really unique for a movie that's been done 100 times.
Yeah,
And
I haven't seen anything that kind of is similar to that, which is really cool. I will say there was one thing that brought me out. It is set in Canada, so when they say random words, I'm like,
yeah,
like the accents.
She's not vibing with the Canadian accent.
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
yeah.
I'm just like that. It's like when
That's
people
not
say
how you
like
say that. Yeah,
like a bagel instead of a bagel, like that kind of thing.
that's criminal.
A bag
Don't call them
and a bag.
But yeah, this was another one. We've been doing a lot of this lately, but we highly recommend. Again, if you don't have Shudder, why don't you have Shudder? It's an incredible value.
It's like the cheapest streaming service that you could possibly have right now.
And again, like you pay, what is it, $6.99 a month for Shudder or $5.99 per movie on Amazon. Like, get Shudder.
Is it only $6.99?
I mean,
I don't know. I don't pay for it. You do.
yeah, I think it's only $6.99. I'm like
crazy.
99% it's $6.99.
That's such a good
It might have gone
deal.
up to $7.99. But when you're paying $25 a month for fudging Netflix, $6.99 with this library and the amount of originals that come out, we've kind of just raved about every Shudder original we've seen over the last year. So
far,
highly recommend.
So of the 5, what would you say is probably your favorite? It's funny. Of the 5, 2 of them were Shudder originals, and they're like in the top 3 for me for sure.
I think Rumplestiltskin was my favorite movie this
Me
week.
too.
Rumpelstiltskin, Shadow of God,
and then
825 Forest Road.
Road.
I honestly like Shiver Me Timbers more than I liked Desert
Same.
Fiends. Like Shiver
But
Me
they're
Timbers.
both so
it's
bad.
like, do you want to rate shit or poop? You know,
Yeah.
that's the 2 movies. So I would definitely say Rumpelstiltskin stole this week. And Shadow of God is very close. If we hadn't had Rumpelstiltskin this week, I'd be raving about Shadow of God. It almost like took a little bit of a hit because of that. But if you're like, Rumpelstiltskin's like an A and then Shadow of God's like an A-. It's right there. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
So
And I like that we had like 2 Shudder originals. Something I was looking at when I was looking at our whole like list of things this month, there's like a Shudder movie being released once a week.
Yeah.
Which is very cool
Yeah.
for April.
Yeah.
Is April the new October?
No, it's not. I just think Shudder's got bangers and they want to send them into the world. And again, Shudder connection with Ugly Stepsister. Every Shudder original we've covered on the podcast, we've had good things to say about. Like, I don't think we've seen a bad Shudder original this year.
I think the only one we didn't like was the other body horror movie. I can't remember what it was called.
Is it the one with the girl who's like the editor?
Oh, Grafted.
Grafted. Oh, I didn't think we. Okay, so I want to revisit Grafted because I think we might have been a little hard on Grafted. I didn't think it was terrible. I'm still not going to give that a thumbs down.
There was just so much suspension of disbelief.
Yeah,
with that movie.
I think it was. Yeah, there was some things that like really didn't add up. And again, I think that one thing that cursed Grafted is that we went in with really high expectations and we had just gotten done
So
seeing
much
The
hype.
Substance. Like we knew The Substance was like one of the best movies of last year, and now we got Grafted, which people were saying is like on the same level. And so we were expecting The Substance levels of quality, and we kind of got more just a decent movie. I don't think Grafted was terrible, but it wasn't great either. It was just fine. Again, for $5.99, $6.99 a month.
Yeah.
You know. But
So if you only have time for one movie this week, we recommend Rumplestiltskin.
Yeah.
However, if you don't want to pay for a movie this week and you already have Shudder, then we recommend Shadow of God.
That's a great way to put it. You're so good at this. You should do a
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the movies this week. We had a great time. Not easy to follow up Sinners weekend either.
Yeah,
so.
honestly, if you only have time for one movie, you probably should just watch Sinners.
No, not probably. And you need to see Sinners. If you haven't seen Sinners,
If
you're
you've seen
missing
it,
out.
you should see it again.
Twice. See it in IMAX. Buy the popcorn bucket. Do everything. Sorry, we're back on
Support
Sinners.
this movie
Yeah.
because it's gonna do so much for horror.
Agreed. So 2025 is shaping up to be a great year in horror. We're just getting started too, man. Like like you said, it's April. Like we got the rest of the year. We got big stuff coming out. Alien Earth's coming out this year.
At the
Which is gonna be
time that we
insane.
released this episode, Until Dawn will have come out too.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're watching this Until Dawn will be out, so expect us to talk about that next week, which we're both very excited about. So yeah, what a great year for horror. Keep watching horror movies, keep recommending horror movies, and then watch Sinners another 4 times.
Yes.
All right?
Support them.
If no one's told you they love you today, we love you. Stay clean, stay focused, and stay off drugs.
And they live Slashily ever after.
Bye.
Bye.